Imagine being a sailor on a United States Navy ship. You're in international waters, monitoring the radio waves thousands of miles from home. And then, out of nowhere, your ship is attacked by fighter jets and torpedo boats. You try to signal for help, but no one answers. You're surrounded by explosions, smoke, and chaos. And the country attacking you? Not an enemy, but an ally. This is the true story of the USS Liberty, a U.S. Navy intelligence ship that was bombed, strafed, and torpedoed by Israeli forces on June 8, 1967, during the Six-Day War. To this day, survivors call it a betrayal. And more than 50 years later, people still ask, was it a tragic mistake, or was it something darker? Welcome to Time Travelers Anonymous, where history is stranger, heavier, and more important than fiction. Let's rewind. In June 1967, Israel was at war with Egypt, Syria, and Jordan. The entire Middle East was on fire. The United States declared it was neutral, but it still had ships in the region. One of them was the USS Liberty, a Navy surveillance ship. Its job was to sit quietly in international waters off the coast of Egypt and intercept communications. No weapons, just antennas and radios. On June 8th, Israeli reconnaissance planes spotted the Liberty and identified it as an American ship. It was large, slow, had a giant hull number, and flew a visible U.S. flag. And yet, just a few hours later, Israeli Mirage fighter jets launched a full attack. They strafed the ship with rockets and machine guns. They destroyed the antennas to block communication. As the crew tried to fight the fires and tend to the wounded, Israeli torpedo boats moved in. One torpedo slammed into the ship, killing 25 men in a single instant. In total, 34 American crew members were killed, and 171 were wounded. The ship was barely afloat. Radio operators managed to get out a distress signal. After switching to emergency frequencies the Israelis hadn't jammed. And only then, after nearly an hour, did the attack stop. Israel later apologized, claiming they had mistaken the Liberty for an Egyptian ship. They said it was an accident, a fog of war mistake. But to this day, many believe that explanation doesn't hold up. Here's why. 1. The USS Liberty was flying a clear American flag. Multiple crew members confirmed it was visible throughout the entire attack. 2. The ship's profile was completely different from any Egyptian vessel. 3. Israeli pilots had flown over the ship earlier in the day and identified it correctly as American. Even high-level U.S. officials questioned the story. Admiral Thomas Moore, former chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, later said, "The attack was deliberate. There's no question in my mind." So then the question becomes, why would Israel attack an American ship? Some theories suggest the Liberty was listening to Israeli communications, possibly picking up information about war crimes being committed in the Sinai Peninsula. Others believe it was a case of Israel wanting to drag the United States into the war by blaming the attack on Egypt. None of these theories have been confirmed, but the fact that most records were classified for decades hasn't helped build trust. An official investigation was conducted by both the United States and Israel. The conclusion? That it was a tragic accident. Case closed. But survivors, and many historians, have never accepted that. They say the investigation was rushed, incomplete, and intended to protect diplomatic relations, not to find the truth. Even decades later, the attack on the USS Liberty remains one of the most controversial events in American military history. An American ship was bombed by an ally. Dozens died. And there was never any accountability. So what do we take away from this? That even in moments of peace, war can find you. That truth in warfare is often buried under politics. And that remembering the USS Liberty isn't about conspiracy. It's about honoring the men who served, and demanding the truth they never got. Thanks for watching Time Travelers Anonymous. Subscribe for more stories that challenge the official story, honor the forgotten, and remind us that history doesn't always come with clean answers.